All right, here we go. Number 1, drinking too much water. You think water is harmless, right? Water is crystal clear. Water is pure. Water is life. Wrong. Water can also be the reason you die. While trying to live healthy, you're playing a survival game, and you've just been spamming the drink button like a clueless noob who skipped the tutorial, causing the main character, your brain, to drown inside your own skull. Sounds absurd? This is a real phenomenon, hyponatremia, when you drink more water than your kidneys can process. At that point, your body becomes a server being DDoSed by water. Sodium levels drop, cells swell, and the brain has nowhere to expand. It gets squeezed like a sandwich inside your skull. Sleep tight. Your natural defense mechanism? Simple. Needing to pee. But instead of going to the bathroom, you think, let's drink more to detox. And just like that, your brain gets completely wiped clean of consciousness. Athletes? Yep. There have been people who died right at the finish line because they drank too much water during a marathon. They didn't lose from exhaustion. They drowned in victory. And the best plot twist? The healthier your lifestyle, the more vulnerable you are to this. Because you're the only one who believes, the more water, the better. Meanwhile, the guy living on Red Bull and Coke, he's fine. His sodium levels are off the charts. Number 2, holding in your pee. You know the feeling. Needing to pee in the middle of a meeting, on the road, or right when the in-game battle's at its peak. And you think, I'll just hold it a bit longer, no big deal. But in reality, something very big is happening. Your bladder is sending out an SOS. The bladder is a stretchy muscle sac. When it's about 50% to 70% full, nerve sensors signal the brain. Time to release the goods. You read the message, but leave it on scene. You just let that sac stretch like you're testing whether it can burst. But every muscle has its limit. The more you hold it in, the more your bladder muscles get overstretched, like an old rubber band. One day, you'll find yourself peeing without realizing it. Welcome to the world of urinary incontinence. And because not all the urine gets flushed out, the leftover, let's call it swamp water, becomes a buffet for bacteria. This is how you personally invite a urinary tract infection to your body's party, especially if you're a woman, thanks to a shorter urethra and closer proximity to the bacteria zone. Over time, if the infection travels up to your kidneys, you can get pyelonephritis, meaning you started with a polite decision in the meeting room and ended up on IV antibiotics in the ER. The scariest part? You barely feel it happening, because the nervous system that controls peeing gets numb if you keep ignoring it. And by the time you notice, you've lost control. Your body will make the decision for you. Number 3, using Q-tips. You think Q-tips are something that keeps you clean, polished, and rightfully placed in every hotel bathroom? Nope. It's the magic wand of silent destruction, one you willingly stab into your head every morning. Your ears have an amazing self-cleaning system. Earwax, the stuff you hate, is actually your ear's first line of defense. It moisturizes, traps dust, fights off bacteria, and slowly moves outward thanks to jaw movements when you eat, talk, chew gum, or sigh in existential despair. Then, you come along with a pointy little cotton stick and mess everything up. You think you're removing, but in reality, you're just pushing the wax deeper inside, creating a slowly growing blockage. That wax gets shoved right up against your eardrum, a membrane just 1 10mm thick, more sensitive than Gen Z's self-esteem. One sneeze or wrong move, and you could tear it, causing pain, hearing loss, and unlocking the combo, ear discharge, ringing, and dizziness. And let's not forget, the Q-tip's cotton tip can cause tiny scratches inside the ear canal. Perfect entry points for bacteria. Now your ear has not just wax, but inflammation, pus, and permanent buzzing. Then you think your ear has a problem, so you grab the Q-tip again to clean better, and thus begins the cycle. The cleaner you try to be, the dirtier it gets. If your ears feel full, The only solution is go see an ENT specialist. Don't play DIY surgeon with a sharp stick just because it's sold in the supermarket. Number 4. Sitting too long. You think sitting means resting, but your body thinks, oh, so we've died? No joke. The more you sit, the more your body shifts into standby mode. Like a computer that's turned off the screen, unplugged the Wi-Fi, and uninstalled the antivirus software. When you sit for too long, blood flow in your legs slows down like a website running on dial-up. This sluggishness increases the risk of blood clots, things that can travel to your heart, lungs, or brain and end the game suddenly. Meanwhile, your metabolism goes on a nap break. Your body burns fewer calories, stops producing fat-breaking enzymes, and slowly accumulates visceral fat, even if you're eating the same. The result? Your belly expands and you have no idea why. So you blame the water. And what about your muscles? They get laid off without notice. Your back and core muscles, especially the posture supporting ones, gradually weaken. The longer you sit, the less your body can hold its original shape. Rounded shoulders, a neck that juts forward, a spine curling into a question mark. And if you're wondering why your back and neck always ache, that's because you're slowly turning into a mushroom from Mario. Many studies show people who sit more than 8 hours a day have a significantly higher risk of early death, on par with smokers. Some doctors even call it sitting is the new smoking. But since you're working, society doesn't complain. No one calls you a chair addict. Even though the truth is, you're hooked on a slow-killing habit, legally sponsored by deadlines and Google Calendar. And the most terrifying part? You don't even realize you're self-destructing. Because that chair is too soft, too peaceful. It doesn't hit you. It just holds you down until everything else leaves. Number 5, sleeping on your stomach. Sleep is when your body heals, recharges, and cleans up your brain. Unless you're sleeping on your stomach. Because in that case, you're not recovering. You're folding your spine into a human pretzel and locking it in that position for 8 hours straight. Your body is designed to lie flat or slightly on your side, allowing the spine to maintain its natural curves. But when you sleep on your stomach, your neck has to twist all the way to one side so you can breathe. And you stay like that for hours. No stretching routine recommends cranking your neck one way for the entire night. Unless you're competing in a nightmare version of Twister. Your lower back doesn't fare much better. When you lie face down, your body weight presses directly onto your belly, the softest, most sinkable part, causing your lumbar spine to sag downward continuously. That's the perfect recipe for waking up with the combo: sore butt, aching lower back, and the cursed feeling of having slept in a haunted yoga pose. And it doesn't end there. This position also compresses your internal organs, especially your stomach and lungs. You're basically turning your sleep into a gentle plank workout for your insides, with exactly 0 benefits. If you often wake up with numb hands, itchy neck, a stiff jaw, or find yourself tensing up mid-sleep to shift position, it's probably not your mattress. It's because you're sleeping like someone being remotely controlled by a malevolent force. Even your face isn't safe. Pressing one side of your face into the pillow night after night puts prolonged pressure on that skin, leading to sleep wrinkles, not caused by age but by cotton and poor life choices. If you're part of the can't sleep unless I'm face down tribe, at the very least, use a very thin pillow to minimize neck strain. Or try placing a small pillow under your belly to reduce back sag. But ideally, train yourself to sleep on your side or back so your body can breathe, your spine can rest, and you don't wake up playing the game of which body part hurts today. Sleep is for recovery. Don't turn it into an 8-hour yoga fail in slow motion. Number 6, listening to headphones too loud. This is you, vibing to music, lost in the beat, volume cranked up to the max. This is your ears. We're about to quit. Inside your ears is a biological masterpiece called the cochlea, lined with thousands of tiny hair cells. They're the ones that convert sound waves into electrical signals and send them to your brain, so you can hear music, voices, and life itself. But when you crank up the volume, especially with in-ear headphones, you're turning that entire system into a dance floor of destruction. The delicate hair cells get shaken, bent, and eventually broken. For good. They don't regenerate. Once gone, they're gone forever. A normal conversation sits around 60 decibels. Your headphones can blast up to 105 decibels. That's chainsaw level loud, right next to your eardrum. At that level, just 15 minutes a day can cause permanent damage. The problem? Your ears don't have pain nerves. No warning signs. You won't know anything's wrong until one day the sound starts to buzz. Voices sound like they're inside a tube, and you're hitting rewind 3 times just to catch a sentence. Studies show many teens today already have the hearing of a 50-year-old, simply because they spend hours every day investing in deafness. And here's the cherry on top. Most headphones now have volume-limiting features built in, but most users disable them, because apparently, hearing clearly is more important than hearing long-term. Listening to music isn't wrong, but if your headphones suddenly lose all their bass one fine day, maybe it's time to turn the volume down before life does it for you. Number 7, biting your nails. You think you're just mouth fidgeting, chewing a little to ease the stress? No, you're basically handing bacteria a passport and personally inviting them into your body. Fingernails aren't decorations. They're natural dirt magnets, collecting bacteria, dust, dead skin cells, even particles from public toilets, sauce-covered keyboards, and elevator buttons. All these little guests hide under your nail edges, just waiting for you to escort them straight into your mouth. When you bite your nails, you're not just destroying keratin, you're also dragging in a cocktail of bacteria like E. coli, Staphylococcus, Salmonella, straight into your digestive tract. And don't forget the bonus side effects: gum inflammation, damaged gums, lip scratches, and cracked corners of your mouth, thanks to nail edges sharper than mini razor blades. Worse still, you're often not just biting the nail, but the skin around it. That skin, the cuticle, is the final barrier protecting your bloodstream from outside infection. When you tear that wall down with your teeth, you're creating a superhighway for infection, like paronychia, red, swollen, throbbing pus-filled tissue around the nail. There have been cases where people were hospitalized because the infection reached the bone, all starting from one gentle nibble. Not to mention the cosmetic damage: chipped teeth, worn enamel, misaligned jaw. Some dentists can spot a long-time nail biter just by looking at their bite pattern. And the reason you can't stop? Because it's not just a habit. It's a compulsive behavior tied to anxiety. Your brain learned, when stressed, chew something. And nails are more convenient than pizza. Harsh, but true. Biting your nails doesn't relieve stress. It just gives bacteria express access to your internal organs. Number 8, suppressing the sneeze. You're in a dead silent meeting when that itchy nose feeling hits. Not now, I'm in a meeting. So you pinch your nose, clamp your mouth shut, and try to swallow the sneeze like it's some kind of crime. The problem is, sneezing isn't a game. It's a high-speed pressure release mechanism. When you suppress a sneeze, the air meant to escape at 160 kmh gets blocked and ricochets back inside. That pressure doesn't vanish. It just reroutes, looking for an exit in places not designed for blast releases. One of its favorite destinations? The eustachian tube, the passage connecting your nose to your middle ear. The sudden pressure can rupture your eardrum, cause sharp pain, ringing, temporary hearing loss, or worse, a middle ear infection. In other cases, the pressure forces air into the soft tissues around your neck and face, leading to something called subcutaneous emphysema. You might actually feel crackly air bubbles under your skin, like carrying a tiny fog machine around your neck. Still not done. Suppressing a sneeze can burst capillaries in your eyes or nose, leading to nosebleeds or anime-style red eyes, like you just had a dramatic heartbreak. Rare cases even report torn throat tissue or slight nasal bone fractures, all in the name of being polite. The real problem? Your brain doesn't care why you held it in. It just records this fact. Every time the body tries to eject bacteria, you block it, which means you just sabotaged your natural defense system in exchange for a polite nod from your boss. And the saddest part? Your boss didn't even notice. Only you got hit with the blowback, literally. Number 9, nightlights. You turn off the ceiling light, close the curtains, get into bed. Everything seems perfect, until that tiny hallway nightlight keeps glowing silently. like a little LED spy. Sounds harmless, but nighttime light is something that can wreck your entire biological rhythm. Your body runs on an internal biological clock, regulated by the hormone melatonin. When it gets dark, melatonin levels rise, making you sleepy, calming your nervous system, and triggering your body's overnight repair mode. But when you allow light, even faint light like from a digital clock, a warm night lamp, or street lights sneaking through the curtains, to reach your eyes, your brain thinks the sun's still out. And it stops producing melatonin. The result? You toss and turn, wake up mid-sleep, don't feel refreshed in the morning, and start your day with a brain running on a glitchy software update. Studies show nighttime light can reduce melatonin levels by up to 50%, mess with metabolism, cause weight gain, insulin resistance, and even increase the risk of depression and anxiety, even if you technically sleep 7 hours. One study on mice found that simply shining a dim light into their cages during sleep made them gain weight, move less, and show depression-like behavior. No stress, no extra snacks, just a single bulb. Worse still, humans aren't mice. We have smartphones. The very thing many people shove inches from their face before bed like they're conducting an interview with the screen. And even if you think I'm used to it, your hormones don't care how you feel. They only respond to light, like an old operating system that ignores user commands, but obeys the lamp. You think your nightlight is protecting you from monsters in the dark? No, it is the biological monster, silently breaking your recovery system night after night. That's all for today. Comment the one that fooled you the longest, and subscribe if you want more brain bugs explained.